We're into the draft, though, and this time Disguised is over on the blue side. They'll ban out the Vi, the Nico, and the Taliyah. Over on FlyQuest side, they'll ban Aphelios, and they'll ban out the Pantheon. Taliyah and Pantheon just continue to maintain their presence at the top of the ban list. You mentioned last game how the patches between MSI and now weren't huge ones, and so a lot of those power picks are going to stay very powerful. These two ran the show.
Yes, they did. And some people may be wondering, like, yeah, why are we banning Aphelios? I mean, we saw it get played sparingly, but it is also the first main champion that Rahel ever played, and he also self-described it as his signature champion.
Okay.
So he does deserve those Aphelios bans. Meanwhile, looking like we're just going to get that lock-in real nice and quick, super comfortable champ. Azir here for DARKWINGs and Disguised.
Yeah, Disguised decided they wanted to remove the Taliyah, but since they had first pick, they didn't feel the responsibility of banning out both of the big mids there alongside the Azir like they did last time on Red.
This is one of the big, not only power picks that you give over, but, okay, so they don't actually lock it in. But Gwen is also another one that self-described was like, yeah, I'm not one of the like S-tier Gwen players, so they often play into it or have counters or something. But maybe that is something that is part of their idea with playing some Gakgos as well, some Gnar picks, some Gwen picks, type of stuff down the road, but not going to be anything early on as they opt for the tree for Mr. Inspired first. And whenever you're looking at the Maokai, you're looking at the AD mid laners here, the go-to, the Yone into the Azir, a classic. So you've got Maokai with point and click flash W engages, and of course your amazing teamfight ultimate combinations for later, but just pairs so well with that Yone.
Okay, over on the other side, the Sejuani locked in for Disguised, and then they've got the Jax up in top lane for Castle. Sejuani Jax, a pretty classic top lane jungle combination.
Strong 2v2. I do like this. Disguised draft this time around looking very nice to me. Let's see what the answer here for FlyQuest will be into the Jax. They just go with the bread and butter here, the Rumble. Fairly standard and is going to pair well with Maokai CC, although it does mean your top and jungle, you don't want to fight that 2v2 necessarily, since Merc Tread value for the Jax is going to be insanely high, playing into a Rumble and playing into a Maokai jungle.
We're also not getting to see any of that super spicy oyster sauce here in the top lane for the Gakgos debut. Rumble, about as standard as it gets in recent metas for top laners. We know we've seen Whippo play that plenty of times before, but it just means we'll have a more direct point of comparison.
So here's my thing though, quick while I saw that shot. All of the seats in here have Cloud9 banners all behind them. Cloud9 aren't even playing yet. Is that allowed? Is that legal? Is Jack coming in here? Jack is waking up at 7 a.m. He's plastering Cloud9 stickers over every square inch of the studio.
Open it!
I see it there.
Yeah, wait, he's actually doing it. Let's go.
Open. Pop it.
Oh, he tore the whole top off of it.
Yeah, get in there. Nice little one-piece collaboration.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, okay. All right, we're doing it live.
Yeah, he got it. I can't read it. I have bad eyes.
Yeah, in hand.
Let's go. Hell yeah. I hope it's something good. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. I can't see it. I just know. I know. I know that we're banning some AD carries here in the second half of the draft. Misfortune, Jin, Kai'Sa all removed. Nautilus also taken out there as the only non-marksman. And now FlyQuest will lock in that Ezreal here for themselves. Some of that long-range safety. Remember that him and Jin also banned out in the second half of bans in game 1.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so into the Ezreal here. Let's see. Looks like, yeah, we are looking towards the burst damage of the Corki here. Should be pretty nice game for Corki. Having the extra move block when you're playing against the Maokai Rumble combination is always nice. And they do decide to lock that one in. I mean, the Azir and the Corki, both pretty good carries into this. So let's see. How does huhi want to round this out with some sort of engage? We definitely need huhi to, or at least I feel like he is always better on these, like Rell type champions where he gets to flex like his shot calling and gets to be the engage for the team. So that plus a Sejuani should be very, very good engage for DSG. Honestly, this time around, I feel like their comp is really well-rounded, and they definitely have themselves set up for pretty even footing in this game.
Huhi, not the greatest game in game number 1, had a couple of misplays, the early turret dive underneath the tier 1, the headbutt onto the tibbers there in the river. So hopefully with the Rell, with this game 2, he can find a little redemption, find some of those big engages. We know that at his peak, Huhi has been a hell of a shot caller, a hell of an engaged player. So maybe we just got to get him on like the biggest team fightingest, engagingest support in the game and let him shine a little bit. But FlyQuest plan is to say, hell no, not going to happen. Braum, great for disengage here.
Yeah. Get some more flexibility on their side. So if Huhi does, get one of those really big engages for his side, Braum adding a lot of defensive utility like you're talking about. But also, in a world where you've got a Maokai and a Yone, getting a big team fight, Braum can do nice follow-up stuff. He doesn't always have to be pure defensive with the ultimate, but if your Yone finds a really good angle, if the Maokai ultimate caught somebody towards the side too, they can combo it there. And let's see about it. FlyQuest here with Gakgos' first game with their squad on the stage.
Is that what you want to see, Kobe? Is that what we need from Disguise to have a chance here? Is you just set all sights on the top lane, set all sights onto the player that you think is going to have the opportunity for you to really make an Achilles heel out of him? Because they've got the Jax, they've got the Sejuani. Do we just full send it top?
I mean, they've got a lot of really good scaling elsewhere. Like, we've got an Azir on our team, Flowers. We can just play for, Azir to scale up as well. So maybe a calm approach to this game, I think would be...
not pedal to the metal.
Yeah, DSG, they've got some really nice scaling available to them. Get that Azir scaled up, and maybe that could be your way to a W on the stage.
All right, Disguise, let's see if they can bounce back here and make this one work. FlyQuest up 1-0 in the series. Massu immediately going to find the first Mystic shot over the wall there onto Rahel with his Ezreal. But here's a little look at Gakgos, 17 years old. That means that he was born in
here we go.
2008. For those of you guys who don't know, League of Legends, the game, released out of beta and into full release state at the end of 2009. Yeah. So he's just about as old as the game itself, just slightly older. And he's 6 months younger than the iPhone. iPhones were on the earth before Gakgos was, but an iPhone has never made it to the LTA stage. So clearly, he's already on the right path, and I want to see how well he does in this first stage game here in the LTA.
So this is my favorite, because Papa Smithy here with this quote, this looks like copy pasta to me. that is like, I can already envision the chat taking over with that, because it is very complimentary. And just looking towards the future here with building up talent. And you have to say, FlyQuest, they definitely have had a good approach where FlyQuest have paired a lot of younger talent as well as veterans, with the likes of Inspired and Whippo on the squad and have found a lot of success. So we'll see what it does look like here. Obviously, we're going to focus on Gakgos a decent amount early on.
He's got some vets beside him. He's got the Pasta Smithy blessing. He's ready to go. He's got all of the intangibles there that should make for a good start here in the LTA. As we'll see Castle have early control over this lane, get pushing with the Jax.
I mean, doesn't it just sound like some tasty pasta? It's like Gakgos is a player with unlimited potential. Every time I watch him play, he does something special that captures my imagination. But at the same time, he is super fresh. It's very play and has a lot to learn. So we'll see. We'll see what the future does look like for him, as well as the team overall. But in this game, should be some pretty smooth farming early on from both sides. I guess the one that you expect volatility from is usually the Yone pick into Azir, because you're going to lose some health here on the Yone, but constantly looking for these E trades and looking to keep up pressure. A perfect timing quad, thank you very much, right there. Goes for and trying to whittle him down. And we'll see if either of these tank junglers make any sort of early visits to blow people's flashes, because both of the solo lane matchups can be pretty heavily influenced by junglers early on. And getting a summoner spell down greatly changes how either of the solo lane matchups are going to go. So Scuttle Crab fights do matter a decent amount. eXyu is able to get this one.
Yep, remember in game number 1, eXyu did have some presence early on in the lanes. He got the very early flash out of Quad. He got a flash a little bit later out of Bwipo, but it ultimately didn't turn into anything that Disguise could then take advantage of and punish.
Coming for a dive, buddy.
So maybe they can find a little bit more luck up here. Dive in the tier 1 tournament in game number 2. Gakgos trying to get away, flashes past him. Gakgos has his juke boots laced up, and he breaks their ankles on the attempted dive. Nicely done there from the new blood of the FlyQuest top lane.
Okay, flash down. Evades death, though, so that is definitely always a positive here. We'll see if there's any sort of repeat visits, Flowers, because we were just saying, oh, the top lane can be heavily influenced by a jungler blowing your flash. We'll see if that's true.
Yeah.
It's a possibility.
Can eXyu get the payday from the summoner spell that he couldn't find in game number 1? That's what we need to see here.
Or Castle just do it himself.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Sometimes you just need the alley-oop. He doesn't have to return later on. But huhi going to make his way through the mid lane right now. Worth pointing out, too, just a quick difference. We do have Summoner Spellbook on eXyu. We also have Summoner Spellbook on Busio. So a little bit more creativity in the way that they can use those for positioning. We saw a lot of this at MSI. Supports taking it, using early TPs to get across the map, catch people by surprise. Obviously, to take Smite later on, too, you can do some really crazy steals.
Yeah, and we also did see the early swaps of them too. So your duo lane that you're talking about. Moving on up here, huhi with his Hex Flash activated and ready for use. So maybe it's them that actually gets the benefit of that flash being down off of the Rumble, because DSG were the ones to do the swap first.
Castle really just wants to farm up as much of this as he can, but so much poke just constantly from Massu's Ezreal is such a pain to deal with, as FlyQuest are going to mine their first plate. Castle should be able to pick up a couple of these, but Busio just being such a pain, making it difficult for the Jax to collect really any of this farm. You can see he is slightly behind compared to where Gakgos is, who's still just chilling up there top side. Yeah, he's also not going to have a great time in a 1v2, but at least you've got Electro Harpoons.
Yeah, and you've got Inspired over here hovering for him because they know this is a place that you can punish. No flash on the Rumble. So Inspired hovers, and he threw a little sapling before he leaves. So he leaves behind a sapling in the Tri-Brush and a ward here as well, just to make sure there will be full information and full alert for Gakgos. And now that he got his level 6, Inspired is fine to leave because of that right there. You can use your level 6 for Rumble, just clear out the wave.
Yeah, the equalizer is so good for those just early tempo ultis to ruin what your opponents were trying to do. And you can see now it's the recall from Rahel, as bottom lane, Massu and Busio just continuing to try to keep the pressure on.
Yeah, meanwhile, without the luxury of an ultimate like the Rumble ultimate, a lot more difficult for Jax to scrap together CS. So a little CS lead here for Gakgos. Definitely accruing. Meanwhile, Quad absorbing some pressure in the mid lane and can easily snap back.
I like how when you're Yone, you can just run at the guy 1v3 with 2 CC heavy champs right there, and then immediately...
You like that, huh?
Oh, yeah.
I sense a little bitterness.
No, yeah, it's just, I love playing against it.
You love that?
Yeah,
oh,
it's just my favorite thing to not be able to punish melee carries.
So Captain Flowers loves Yone.
It's a very powerful skill, very powerful outplay tool. So Quad's obviously off to a fine start here in the mid lane. Honestly, both mid laners happy to scale up, happy to just hit those first big item breakpoints, scale towards being the massive late game threats that we know both of them can be. Both AD carries stacking their tiers as well, but of course, Ezreal with the super low cooldowns is going to stack much more quickly, especially if you're constantly landing those mystic shots like in a 2v1 you're pretty easily going to do, constantly bullying, having the lane shoved up. But top lane,
Spellbook teleport from eXyu. There he is. The top side. Ganked. Got that ward.
Let's see if Gakgos can maintain his nice little farm lead.
It's actually really annoying because of the wave being right there. So Gakgos actually got a recall off of that. So the teleport up to clear the ward while the wave is pushed up like that is a bit annoying. So Gakgos goes for his recall, resets, and he's going to come back out.
Okay, well, we've got the Void Grub spawning, so a slower neutral objective game in this one compared to game 1. Remember that in game number 1, FlyQuest got an early Drake around 6 minutes or so. Then they also secured the grubs. This time around, eXyu not worried about the early Drake really at all. Instead, though, is going to put that pressure on the grubs as soon as they spawn. Disguised have already acquired the first 2, and this third one should go their way as well. Nobody from FlyQuest is even in the area, so all 3 grubs here for Disguised. When you've got champions like Jax and Azir on your team that can really push turrets quickly in a side lane, this could give them the opportunity to balloon some gold off of early turrets.
Yeah, good little start there for Disguised. The extra experience from the grubs as we have a little fight on bottom side is going to be nice because eXyu is a little bit behind Inspired, so he wants a little bit to catch up there. And the grub's going to help a decent amount, but Inspired, they don't immediately for FlyQuest answer with the dragon, and he goes for his recall first. So he's got his mask plus his faded ashes on this Maokai before coming back down, and I assume they will also answer with a dragon pickup of their own. Rahel trying to push the wave as quickly as possible.
All right, Busio misses the Winter's Bite there. Yeah, you can see, obviously, like you mentioned for the Maokai, building towards the Liandry's there for the burn, but it's not full Forest Fire Maokai early on. He doesn't have the red pet. He's still got the blue pet. So you've already got Rumble on your team. You don't feel the need for all of the extra burn damage, but FlyQuest can easily just make sure that they grab that first Drake. There it is. So neutral objectives tied 1-1, and still no kills on the board. You were right, Mr. Kobe. We are not pedal to the metal at all. We are taking a relaxing Saturday afternoon drive in the first 10 minutes of this one.
Yeah, I think both of these teams feel comfortable working towards their first items, power spikes. Of course, Yone becomes a crazy monster when he gets Blade of the Ruin King. Both of our AD carries, our Triforce AD carries, that also want a tier stack, so both of them are on kind of similar timelines for themselves also. So we have a lot of people that are kind of happy to farm away in this game.
Okay, FlyQuest. First versus 8th, still just such a challenge here for Disguise to start off with the most difficult enemy. But I also feel like that gives you the chance, like you mentioned in game number 1, to just take the small wins where you get them. If you find some good fights against FlyQuest, even if you don't come out with the dub, you can still take learnings away from it, because these guys have shown they are the best team fighters. They are the most coordinated team. They're getting creative, and now Gakgos is in some trouble. Castle going in for the solo bolo here from the top side. Gakgos wants to flash away, but Castle with the solo kill for the first blood sits Gakgos down. Now Inspired wants to try to get the follow-up, but he can't find it. Bramble Smash missed the target. Inspired still with a flash, looking to chase Castle down, but Castle stands tall.
And he's out with the blast code! Castle! Holy, for DSG. Flowers, when they first entered the league, a lot of the focus, wait a second.
Oh my goodness, if that killed him, I would have lost it.
Okay, the interrupt on the recall is pretty good. Yeah, obviously killing him and having enough damage to kill him would be better, but even interrupting the recall is a little bit of something there for him. eXyu, I don't see him actually killing a Maokai, but...
No, probably not.
But regardless, remember when this guy's, we always used to focus so much on Castle, and at the beginning had a lot of, decent games for himself. Let's see, with a kill onto Jax here. We're funding those Merc Treads that we were talking about in Champ Select that are so beneficial when you're playing into a top side that is Rumble Maokai. It is just so much value for Merc Treads, so that does fund those Merc Treads, and he's got teammates up here, so they're looking for Gakgos again. No flash!
Okay, Gakgos got to try to get away from this one. The Shattering Strike has already collided, and Magnet Storm's looking to keep him locked up. eXyu tanking everything underneath the turret. They need a little bit more damage. They don't have the firepower to kill him. eXyu with a flash in for the W2 to get the kill. Busio and Inspired show up, though, and now they're looking to trade back more than just one. So Disguised, yeah, you brought a 3-man attack, but it's a Sejuani and a Rell, so they had to have some damage there.
I will say that actually trading is good. So even though, yeah, it took a long time and it got really dicey there, trading is good because then Gakgos doesn't get to farm that cannon wave. So even though eXyu, flashes there and does go down, I do think that is worth for DSG. Like you said, they committed to a 3-person dive. Immediately, there is going to be the move over from it. So this is the very beginning. And this shows the minimap, so you can see Inspired heading over. That's why Gakgos flashed down instead of into his turret, because he was flashing down towards Inspired. But as you know, some escape maneuvers there, got him out. And then this time around for Gakgos, he does get hit by the Rell combo, but they just don't have the damage. Even with all that CC and the Sejuani and everything landing, they couldn't quite finish him off. And so he makes them invest the flash, which does result in the 1-for-1 plus the flash for Sejuani being down, and that flash from huhi as well. But as you know, like that cannon minion wave up there dying to the tower is kind of the little determining thing. With the extra flashes they also invested though, Flowers, your payment's looking pretty big.
Yeah, it was costly. There was a lot of hidden fees on that one. That was not the ideal, but we'll see.
All right, Toast, how we feeling?
Yeah, we got Toast in the building here. He does look a little bit concerned.
Better in this game, way better. Game 2,
okay,
see, he put up a 2. 2 for game 2 is looking way better.
Okay, it's still a very close game in terms of the gold, right? Yeah, FlyQuest have 1 dragon, they're up 500. That shouldn't matter that much. Gakgos, though, trying to burn through Castle a little bit up here. Castle with those Merc treads that you mentioned earlier. Yes, a lot of power in it, but of course it does slow down that first spike moving towards your Trinity Force. So once he gets that, he's going to feel a lot stronger in that matchup. Still is the only one on his team who has a gold advantage over his individual opponent. I'm Native Liar now as huhi eclipses Busio by a powerful 27 gold.
I mean, Mikhail's completion too. Mikhail's completion is kind of sick.
That is
Sejuani ultimate on the other side is definitely good. There could be a high value of Mikhail's here.
It does also put a lot more pressure onto huhi then, since eXyu single target engage can largely be invalidated by the existence of the Mikhails. That means that huhi's got to find multiple targets. Lots of value there with the Magnet Storm. First items completed. Multiple different players here as the engage from Disguise is completely botched. Quad ready for the counter here with the Fate Sealed. True Shot Barrage over the top. Disguise just gave it away for free, and FlyQuest happy to punish a triple kill for the Yone. Disaster for Disguised in the bot side river.
Oh, Flowers, that one was painful to watch. Oh, that engage just whiffing for DSG, and the instant clap back from FlyQuest. Ooh, that was a painful punish right there. They're going to get a lot off that too. Dragon is right there for the taking after all these kills.
Yeah.
We said that Yone is a completely different beast when you get Blade of the Ruined King.
Yeah.
He's also just collected 3 kills into the hands of Quad.
Yeah, Quad with the triple kill there. Right before the fight broke out, I was going to mention, yeah, we're seeing these first item power spikes. The next fight could get really intense really fast. Yone with Bork, Ezreal with the Trinity. The True Shot Barrage hit multiple targets in that fight too, even though Massu wasn't directly in the fight. And now, with the bonus control they have over the Rift after winning that one, FlyQuest just going to try to convert that into another objective take up here. They will secure themselves the Rift Herald. Now can they get everybody out of town? Disguised, they've got players around, but Kobe, they still don't have the engage mechanisms ready to go again. Magnet Storm and Glacial Prison are both still on cooldown, so there's no chance for a punish.
Honestly, Flowers, you got to take a breather after that last one.
All right.
After the last engage, I think they do need a little breather. That one just cruises by Inspired, and then the Crash Zone also kind of cruises just next to him, and you see Quad with this massive counter engage. The Yone just completely dumps on them there. Quad is able to pick up the last one as well. Well-deserved triple for him, because that was, nothing to say there.
Yeah, you know it goofed, and the punish was just massive, like you said. So now it's a 2-dragon lead. Now it's the Herald lead. They've still got that Herald available to use to try to take the first turret if they want it, but they've already secured defeats through kills and neutral objectives. So FlyQuest really taking dramatic control over the game here in just a couple of minutes, as Inspired wants to make his way down towards Darkwings. Quad follows it up here with a Fate Sealed and True Shot Barrage. That is the second time Quad sets it up with a Fate Sealed. Massu knocks it down with the True Shot Barrage from all the way away. The man's back over in the mid lane, Kobe.
Yeah, I like that because I was, well, let's take a look if Quad actually gets caught here.
Okay, eXyu and huhi going after him. They don't have a ton of damage between the two of them, but they didn't need a ton. They had enough to kill off the Yone. At least that shutdown goes over to Disguised.
All right, maybe Castle, does at least solo get the flash here. So they're trying to follow it up with plays on the top side too. DSG looking for some of these answers to FlyQuest, because FlyQuest are just starting to run away for it. Ooh, this one could be dangerous though. Is he gonna wait until Inspired shows? Okay, Inspired shows.
Okay. Castle wants to try to turn it around, go
wants
after
it.
Gakgos immediately at the start. If he gets Gakgos, Inspired doesn't have a lot of damage, but now Busio's ready to join the fight. He locks him up with the concussive blows, and Inspired beats him down. So a 1-for-1 trade, but well played to Castle, making sure he flashes aggressively. He wants the kill on Gakgos. He knows he has to get it quickly, and so he at least makes it that 1-for-1.
Honestly, I like that attitude, Flowers.
Yep.
I'm going to get mine.
Take somebody with you. If they're gonna send the whole squad.
I don't care how many people are up here. I'm going to get my kill.
Meanwhile, though, bottom lane, hey, DARKWING's picking up some objective money, some much-needed objective money for Disguised. Bring that gold lead back down below 3,000 on the FlyQuest side. Yeah. Now making a teleport to get all the way back out as Quad was heading his way over. So DARKWING's is right back up to farming in the top lane this time. Herald's still available for FlyQuest 2. The next Drake is spawning here in 1 minute. It'll be soul point if they secure it. And we know how easy it is to just use the Herald as the distraction, give them something else to deal with, force control over the bot side river.
Yeah, I think that mid lane tower is basically dead. That thing is so heavily damaged. All you have to do, pop down Rift Trail. Yeah, that thing is one shot. FlyQuest
hey, there it is.
Collect.
Okay.
Yeah, you're like, we could do this by hand.
Or we could just summon up this thing that's literally made for it and just send it in there. Kaboom! Rift Herald takes out the turret. You can see everybody falling back to the top side river, ready to regroup here as our dragon spawning in 20. Oh, that's not the dragon. Is that the dragon emblem or is that the Otacon emblem? I think that might be the Otacon.
Dragon is coming up in 45
Yeah, I was
seconds.
looking at the wrong one.
Coming up in 12.
It was mostly right. I confused the Otacon one for the dragon one. The dragon is in 45 seconds. Otacon's in about 5. Problem is, Kobe, FlyQuest is so far ahead that if Disguise loses even like a single man on getting caught out, Otacon could be a pretty fast call for FlyQuest.
Definitely could be, especially up at the top side of the map here. Blade of the Ruin King Yone can just melt through that thing. And it's a lot of 2-item power spikes right now for FlyQuest. So I do expect them to just force the Otacon regardless if they get a pick or not. But a little support combat here in the mid lane results in one support getting way lower.
Yeah, Busio and Massu now falling back. Huhi at about 400 HP. If this Rell tries to engage, he's going down pretty much immediately as Masu's got to be careful here. DARKWING's putting a ton of damage into the FlyQuest carry. That is exactly the kind of start they need to have any chance in a fight. The entire time, Quad is still putting all of the work in on the tier 2 up there in the top lane, but Castle's going to TP out to try to come defend it. And as soon as Castle TP's out, Quad's going to TP in. DARKWING's using the Shurima shovel to disengage as FlyQuest goes after him. But now, with the way that the pieces have all shuffled around the board, DSG is nowhere near the Drake.
And they can just go Otacon after the Dragon. FlyQuest, they still have their teleport on Gakgos. Just keep Gakgos bottom, have him push out bottom, send everybody else up to this Otacon fight, take the Otacon fight while you have your 2-item power spikes. Oh, actually, a lot of big purchases right now in base coming up for DSG. They got the Rylai's, that utility from the Azir. Going to be pretty big here. Plus, you finally got Rahel transferring over. His Muramana transformation is complete. And even eXyu gets his Undying here. So a lot of clutch 2-item power spikes just purchased for DSG. They can take the Otacon fight now. It is still going to be difficult for them to actually pull off and win, but they're in a much better position to actually fight now.
Okay, they've got to try to get some kind of a big angle here. They don't want to allow FlyQuest to keep walking away with this game, but FlyQuest items are scary too, man. Immortal Shield Bow for Quad's Yone.
It goes down so quickly.
Yeah, this thing is getting melted, and you've got control over the river through Maokai. He's so good at these situations. The Otacon is already down, and FlyQuest takes almost no damage as they conquer that objective. Now with a TP to reset position back over the tier 1 in mid lane. Gakgos trying to defend this one, as Disguised should be able to still overload it in time to take the objective, but FlyQuest with the Otacon feeling good.
Yeah, they at least get their consolation prize of the mid single tower, just an outer tower though. And Otacon power here is going to be long-lasting for FlyQuest. So DSG got up to their couple items there. Not quite into position to actually take a fight though, so just opt for the safer trade instead.
Okay, DSG, the game is starting to run away from him. This next dragon fight here in 3 minutes or so, this is the big one. If you let them have an Infernal Soul with the lead that they've already got, we're kind of feeling like we're at the point where it now requires a big throw from FlyQuest. But for GSG, that means you've got to be there first. You've got to make sure you've got control over the area. Because not only are you dealing with a team that's this far ahead, you're dealing with a team that's this far ahead with Maokai and trying to approach through that ulti, through a bunch of saplings. We saw how effective FlyQuest was just up at Otacon. Throw the Maokai R out, all of a sudden, nobody gets anywhere nearby.
And I really like what FlyQuest are doing here. They're taking over, wait a second, that's a lot of damage. Okay, they're taking over the bottom side of the map well in advance of the spawn of that dragon.
Oh, and immediately they full send it after eXyu. The Sejuani is not tanky enough. It's Busio leading the charge, Quad on the follow, and again, Massu's long-range firepower gets it done. They'll take the kill, they'll take the tier 2, they'll take total control over the bottom side of the rift.
Yeah, Quad just ults right through any of the defenses there. Easily able to follow up on that one. The Yone is just insane at the moment. He ults on through, they get the tower, they get their kill, Flowers, and like we said, they leave a trail of wards leading up to this Dragon Soul fight that is well in advance. So that just makes it really easy for them to place the next line when they're actually looking for the setup for the fight.
It's like one of the worst feelings when you're the jungler, especially when you're playing a frontline one like Sejuani, and you're thinking, oh no, they're not gonna full send everything after me. I'm not the Corki, I'm not the Azir, and then, well, all of a sudden.
Quad has been just so good on this Yone. He has been full sending every play. Even, so the bottom one, I'm thinking back to, you know, the bottom tower dive that they pulled off on Azir, where Inspired throws his Maokai ultimate, and he kind of backs out of tower range, right? So you're like, oh, he's not taking the turret, so yeah, you know, Quad's probably not going to full send, right? No, he still does.
No, he does.
He was like 70% or 60% HP, and he's like, you know what, it's fine. I'll just take the tower myself. I've got enough damage to finish it, and he just full sent it anyways, and yeah, he has just been an absolute terror on this Yone so far. For FlyQuest. So Flowers, we're a minute away from your dream fight. The action will pop off in 1 minute here.
It's a dream, or if it doesn't go well for Disguised, this is the nightmare, my friend, because giving away that Infernal is just not a winnable game state.
Or a pick beforehand.
Huhi finds Busio here in the brush, but going after Braum is often not an effective strategy. You can see there the self-Mikhails to stop the stun from Sejuani from locking him up any further. Busio takes, what, 5% of his health in that scrap? Not worried about it at all. But Disguised starting up a sneaky two-man Baron. It's not particularly fast, but FlyQuest doesn't seem to be aware just yet. But now everybody's moving into position. The Scryer's trinket into the pit, sees what's going on. Disguised backs away.
It's interesting because the dragon is spawning so soon. You would think that you would want early position towards the dragon, but they're actually just still sticking around on this side with no wards for DSG down towards the dragon. FlyQuest should have priority, and so DSG are just threatening, hey, if you go for Soul, we're going to start this Baron up again. You saw us start it up before. We'll just go right back there. We're going to do it.
Well, now they're being corralled up towards it. FlyQuest happy to shove them up that way because Quad is just going to do the dragon on his own. The Fed Yone with the Blade of the Ruined King can slow this down very quickly and take no damage. Massu getting away there. Nice cleanse of the Glacial Prison. FlyQuest doing just fine here in a 4v5 as eXyu has to try to get away. Ton of damage to Darkwing's there. Matsu's already killed him. FlyQuest in a 4v5 like those odds. Busio trying to get away from the counter strike here as Castle at least picks up a single kill. Infernal Drake, Infernal Soul going the way of FlyQuest here at the same time as Gakgos and Quad have more than enough damage. It was a 4v5 for most of it, and almost everybody on Disguised is a corpse. eXyu's the only one still standing. He's got 200 HP in a dream, but FlyQuest are going after the Baron. Gakgos going back up into the tribe run. eXyu flashes over the wall. It's an ace for Fly. Disguised is out of there.
Would you classify Ezreal as an assassin, Flowers?
I'd classify Massu's Ezreal as an assassin because he just went in.
Massu definitely has the assassin tag up on that Ezreal. That was crazy. He nails the skill shots. He jumps in, takes them out from behind them in their own jungle. And with that, FlyQuest claim the Soul. They claim the Baron. Flowers. They're looking like they're going to claim the series. Let's take another look at it. All right, Massu here. He puts down so much damage. He instantly cleansed that. That was such a clean cleanse from him. And then look, every Mystic shot is hitting. That's like 5 in a row, 6 in a row. He just deletes Darkwings, and he almost deleted eXyu. He even flashes over at eXyu to try and finish it too.
Yeah.
And as you said, this was all without Yone. So that was without even the super fed Yone that's been destroying them. Quad basically gets to teleport in for the little movie at the end for the last player, but
Well,
yeah. That is, I mean, you're playing the best team in the LTA right here.
it's a tough first day, man. It's
Tough
rough.
first day of work for sure.
Yeah, this is not the intro you wanted for Split 3, but somebody's got to play him. And right now, FlyQuest is looking like they're about to wrap this series up. 12-5, Infernal Soul, 10,000 gold lead. They're up 15 flowers of extra adaptive force as well, and they've got the Baroned up push ready in the bottom lane.
All right, I want the analyst desk to slow down the Massu cleanse frame by frame as we see them destroy the rest
Okay,
of
we
the
might need to slow down these deaths frame by frame because FlyQuest is already just deleting everybody. Huhi's the next to go. Castle, Rahel, and DARKWING going to stand their ground as Busio is almost dropped and Inspired is killed off. Disguise looked like they might have had a chance there, but Massu is still healthy, is still firing, is still too much of a problem. Busio barely staying alive as Inspired does drop a quick little counterpunch there from Disguise, but they're going to need so much more.
Yeah, you better send an army at Massu to take this guy down. He is so confident, and he is popping off right now. Looks like
when your AD carry steps up and forces Jax to walk back, you've got a bit of a problem as Quad's at least going to get stunned up there. Castle went in for the counter-strike aggressively, but that's Massu Ezreal. If he's in range, you're down range, and he is not stopping the fire.
Yeah, I mean, Jax jumps in and stuns Quad. Massu just spaces back a little bit, steps outside the counter-strike range, and then let's rip. Oh, you stopped his recall.
I'm like,
careful.
Bro, I don't know if you want to do that. I don't know if you want to stop his recall. I don't know if you want to walk that far forward. Massu Ezreal keeping the pressure on as Quad goes in for the base seal, and DARKWING is down. You should have let him recall.
You're looking at the freaking Globetrotters out here. FlyQuest.
Oh, they're still going! One more hit would have killed Huhi, but they don't quite have the damage. Massu snipes it! Another one comes in. A double for Massu in the enemy base. Disguise is just made to look foolish here at the end of game 2. An unceremonious ace for FlyQuest as they will knock down the Nexus turrets. Castle can't step off of the stairs to the fountain, and FlyQuest 20-6. They win the second game as strong as they won the first. It's a clean 2-0 to start Split 3.